Yo, what up? Beami here. It's me. It's a me. I obviously got some updates. It's been a minute since I've like really come on here and shared some things. I think I used to do like a monthly update video like about my life and stuff. But my life is going pretty well, so I'm just wanting to give you an art update. Um, because I got a lot of cool art stuff going on now. And yeah, everything's in full swing. So, first and foremost, I'm going to try to stay on topic here. Um, I just released, so from 2020 to 2022, I released several singles under my legal name, Steven Strong. And yeah, then I went through a lot. I quit music. I quit everything I ever liked or loved. I mean, anything that ever brought me joy or that I was ever interested in. And then I slowly began a process back to myself, back to my passions, back to what. And in that process, I did not realize how much guilt I had been carrying. I wouldn't have called it guilt. I wouldn't have identified it as guilt necessarily, but eventually I knew that there was some blockage occurring within me that I could not figure out, and that I knew once I figured it out, once it clicked, everything would just make sense and be clear and take off from there. And I had people tell me that too. They're like, "Man, once you figure it out, you're gonna have everything you ever wanted." And it finally hit. It was guilt, and I was carrying guilt for simply existing, for especially for thriving, guilt for being alive, guilt for having success, guilt for experiencing things that I've wanted, guilt for doing well, guilt for getting what I want, um, and and it was a huge breakthrough to realize, fuck, I gotta be guilty for, I got nothing to be ashamed of, and like I'm yeah. So in that as well, I released a lot of singles before that time, and I've looked back on them and I've remastered a lot of them, and I've picked out some highlights, and in a way they're almost more relevant today than they were then in terms of subject matter. And anyways, I'm releasing them now, and I think that I'm not sure I was ready for the world when I wrote them initially, and I don't know the world was ready for me. But I think we're kind of starting to be all right with each other now. So I think that there's a lot of understandable frustration and rage and disorientation in how to channel that frustration or that pain or that anguish or that despair that a lot of people are feeling and experiencing and seeing and witnessing and being a part of, and in the world right now, and increasingly so. And I think that I shared a lot of that. I had the height of my rage and frustration and confusion and despair regarding all of these things, in that time in 2020, 2021, 2022. And in the time since, I've lightened up a lot, and found my joy again, and remembered who I am and what I came here to do and be and experience. And that gives me a lot of like release and exhale and peace and knowing and trust. So I think that this putting these songs out is worthwhile. I think that there's an audience for them, and I'm just gonna let it be what it is. I think that they deserve to be out and open. And in the meantime, or while that's happening and being released, and we're finally feeling all right about all that, I'm also working on new music and new sounds, and developing myself and my skills and and also have some upcoming castings that I'm preparing for. And I start horseback riding lessons tomorrow, which is very exciting. And I got a lot of stuff in development right now. I'm planning some merch to release. If you want to get on that, it's going to be special. It's going to be one of a kind stuff. So I guess you can add fashion designer to my hats. But follow me on Instagram at Beami Not You. My name Beami Not You. And what else do I have going on? Was that everything? I mean, okay, so I just released a single today. Yesterday. Today's Sunday, February 8th. And yesterday, February 7th, I released Wiser Than Older, which was originally written in March or April 2020. And it's kind of a lighthearted commentary on the pandemic that traumatized us all 6 years ago. And then, somewhere out there's a hard drive with a one-take video I did in my apartment of my quarantine setup. And I've released emotional attachment to that hard drive and everything else that was stolen from me a long time ago. But whoever has it out there, and if you come across it, enjoy it, because I that stuff meant a lot to me, and I put a lot into that. And okay. So then on Valentine's Day, I got 2 singles, Bad and IDKU. They were the 2 songs my ex hated the most. So what a more perfect day to release them. And then on Sunday the 22nd, I'm releasing my 7-song EP titled I Am Not a Victim. And I'm finishing that up today. Also, hopefully next week I'm recording a guest appearing on a podcast called Giants Amongst Us hosted by my guy Rich. And details on that will come out later. And and then news about some TV show stuff coming out soon that I may be a part of coming out as well, hopefully within the next month. And then, last but not least, my first ever role, which you should be able to see some of the trailers going around now for that here on my YouTube channel and elsewhere, is a music video for a band here in Austin. And it is premiering March 14th at 6 p.m. in South Austin. If you want the deets, it'll be at the Backwood Bar on Manchac, and and there's a Q&A afterwards if anyone has any questions, I guess. And I edited it, I starred in it. It's the most emotional project I've ever been a part of. It's very personal to me, and I'm so grateful to have been a part of it with the people that I was a part of it with. And so come out to that. I think that's it. All right. I didn't ramble for 28 minutes. Obviously there's lots more to share, but you gotta keep tuning in, and I'll see you later.